All right, everybody. So imagine that, we're at my house. I have a really big living room. We're having dinner or lunch. It's water. We're staying hydrated. It's Friday, right? And we're just going to hang out and chat and, just say, hey, what's up?
Yes.
Because I think what we don't do a lot, right, and we need to do more, and this is something I'm working on, is that we get so involved in the work. And we come in and we're like, in the cubicle, right? And then we close the door and we're like, okay, let's get home because of traffic. And then I'm gonna, make something for dinner, and I'm sure you make something excellent for dinner. And I want to come over and eat some of that for dinner. And then we go to bed and then we're like, what did I do today? Who did I talk to? Or you walk in and people go, how are you? And you're like, you're down the hallway. And so we really wanted to do today is be intentional about checking in and being in community and being in conversation. And I am so honored and privileged to get to spend some time today with a local celebrity who is amazing and fabulous in all kinds of ways. So let's give it a round of applause for Chef Carlos.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to definitely be here and just have a quick little combo and just hang out and chill.
And so you all know that every superhero has an origin story. And so this superhero, could you tell us a little bit about your journey into your leadership in South County and in the culinary arts? I mean, how did that come about? Tell me about you being this young little kiddo in South County and how you got to where you are today.
Of course. All right, so, hi everyone. All right, let's get this started. So, there I was, a young little lad in Gilroy, California. I was the youngest of 4 boys. And it started in 8th grade. I had a home economics class. I don't know if any of you had home economics, but
we tell them we did.
I own that class now because the first thing we made in this class was actually French toast. And when we were having this class, I actually set the fire alarm off because no one told me that you had to put fat or butter in the pan before you put the actual French toast. Let's just say it was a smoke war up in that girl, so I was like, ooh.
So you were fire in the kitchen from the
literally.
Nice.
Where's my fan? Hold on.
Oh, here we go. Yes!
Get a little warm too. Anyways,
it's hot in the kitchen.
It does this. Okay, so basically that was the goal, and then I went into high school, and I was, I was brought up in a very Hispanic, household, and so anytime we had a conversation or a family gathering, or my family was just happy as can be, there was always food around the table. And for me, living in a Hispanic household food for me creates community, and knowing that I can be in the kitchen with my grandparents, my mom, my dad, making salsas en la molcajete, watching the arroz being made on the stove, it was just happiness to me because everyone would always come together and enjoy a good meal. And that's kind of the beauty of it all. So since then, I was like, you know what? I want to make food for people. I want to bring smiles to people's faces so they can really get a chance to enjoy a good meal, but for me, watching them eat this meal allows them to heal, and that's kind of the part of it all. I don't know for a lot of you, but when your stomach's happy, your heart's happy, and that allows your mind to be even happier to help process and build opportunities for yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I think in my house, right, in this Mexicano household, it's like, how are you and have you eaten? Those are the first things that you get when you walk in the door. And if you say, I have, they feed you anyway. And the kitchen is where you get the best chisme, the best, gossip. But you can't just sit there, right? You gotta do some work, even if it's peeling potatoes or stir the rice or
it really is
whatever you're making. And
make sure whoever offers you food in that Hispanic or Mexican household, you never say no. Always say yes. You take that taco and you eat it because you will never get offered again.
It'll be delicious. And there's a lot of resources and love and energy that went into that. And so in my household, I was always taught, de un plato comen dos. So from one plate, 2 people can eat. So if you have food, then you always have food to share. And it's always about like that community and that communal spirit. So you found your pathway to food and culinary arts. Where does the queer superhero leader of South County come into the picture?
Well, gratefully and happily, I'm part of an agency. Rebekah Services is in Gilroy.
Show some love to Rebekah Services.
And we definitely serve all of Santa Clara County and now San Benito County. And we have a culinary academy there. And the culinary academy for us is a chance for us to kind of get youth into a place that's going to help them be successful. So we created the Kneaded Culinary Academy. And our main focus originally was to work with youth who were aging out of the foster care system in 2009 and give them a chance to learn some skill sets to become a successful adult in the world. And once, I don't know if you all know, but for foster care youth, at the age of 18, services are very, very much limited. So the agency's goal was to create a program to teach them job skills, life skills, and culinary skills, only because the number 1 leading job industry out there still is, I think, is hospitality. And so having the ability to give them those skill sets to go out, get a job, part-time, build it up to a full-time opportunity, that was the goal. And so through that program, we were able to create what we call Pride Kitchen. And Pride Kitchen is one that we definitely love and hold near and dear to our heart because we created this space to really just have a chance for the youth to come in, ages 14 to 25, have a safe space for themselves, especially our LGBTQ community and their allies, where they can come in, be themselves, show their true colors, but learn how to make a meal together and really just ask questions. And we bring in other friends and organizations where they can come in and really just educate each other about what they're experiencing, what are they feeling, what are their, what barriers they're going through, any resources they can really have, and that's kind of the beauty of it all.
Yeah, and I worked for about 9 years in higher ed before coming to the county. And I've been at the county 7.5 years, but these face creams are good, so I'm young.
Thank you, face creams.
Yes, and I noticed that whenever I put up, like at the university when I have like my rainbow stickers or when I wear like my rainbow pins, and people, young people see that and they go, oh, okay, you're safe. Oh, okay, I can share myself. What was it like when you opened the door to this Pride Kitchen and like those conversations of people walking in the door and going, perhaps maybe for the first time, they were sharing who they were authentically?
At first it was a struggle, only because in a town like Gilroy, you walk around and you expect and you hope now to see the pride flag at every establishment, every county, government, community building, and unfortunately it's still not there. And so we, as an agency, said, how can we ensure that our youth have a chance to come to our campus and feel safe, and feel heard, and feel seen? And that's what we did with, making sure we rose a pride flag and have it up there, not just in June or in October, we have it year round. And every 6 months we change it out to make sure she's bright and she's light and she's colorful and she's shown. And taking the lead in our community has been just an opportunity for us to build that space for them. And like I said, when I step onto this campus, it's a very beautiful campus. If you haven't been, come by, Rebekah Services. As an employee, I get to come on campus every day and see it and just say, hey, this is my second home. Anywhere you spend more than 8 hours a day sometimes, that's a second home. And for us, it's a safe space. It gives us a place to really just call home, educate others, help others, but more importantly, help them in their healing process. And that's what, if we're able to feel that, it's going to give us a chance to really be able to help them. And it just empowers us more. And I think that's what the youth see. So now when we have June as Pride Month, or we have LGBTQ plus History Month in October, or even the flag just being flown year round, we make sure we go all out so that campus is lit up and colorful, so anyone driving down the street, driving down the highway, hopefully, can see the colors and just say, hey, that's a safe space. That's where I want to go, and that's where I want to be a part of, and part of that movement of change and positive influence.
Yeah, and it creates a ripple effect, right? Like it keeps growing, and that light, that love, that acceptance keeps growing. You've been at Rebekah's Children's Services for how many years now?
Going on 14 years.
Yes, let's get a round of applause. And it started off, this small program, and now you had this annual National Coming Out Day event, and you raised the pride flag, and the ceremony in Gilroy. Like, what has that been in that, like, seeing something from its start, basically, after that, reconstructing of the program, to now see it, 14 years in its existence, and seeing the ripple effects of, like, these larger events happening in Gilroy, and then I'm sure seeing some of your students who have graduated and come back and go, this is where I got my start.
It's been a life changer, to be honest. It really has. Having the ability to build a program to where it is today has just been beautiful, in a sense. And now I get to see it, and a lot of the people who come and work in our program or support our program, from our therapists, our counselors, our social workers, probation officers, everyone who gets a chance to be a part of it, by their clients being in our program, their youth, their sons, their daughters, they get to see the full effect. And our goal is to make sure they come into a facility that they feel safe, but also a chance to really just learn, to become part of the program that they're a part of. We give them a full uniform, chef jacket, an apron, and a hat, and they feel a sense of belonging, and that's just the key part of it all. A lot of our youth don't get to finish any program or complete a service or a program, and I'm grateful enough to build a program with our team to really just have a safe space for them. And our youth come in, they are learning 60 hours of classwork and in the kitchen making good food. They get to eat the food after that they create at a large table, and they're building their own community, and that's the beauty of it. They'll also leave with a food handler certification, a resume fully built, a certificate of completion, and before they leave our program, I make sure they have an interview lined up, a job in place, or higher education in plan, because we are a job training program, and our goal is for them to obtain the job, but more importantly, keep the job. Because a lot of us and a lot of individuals we've probably worked with or met don't have the ability to maintain a job because they're dealing with so much mentally, emotionally, physically. And a lot of us can walk up and wake up every day and say, hey, I'm going to work, I have an 8 o'clock meeting, I'm gonna do this, this, and that. And a lot of our, individuals out there don't have the ability to do that. They struggle to even just get out of bed, to get in the shower, to get dressed, and feel confident in being themselves. So we try to give them an opportunity to really just educate themselves on how to be that. And so that's kind of what the beauty of it all is. We've been able to graduate over 2,300 youth the last 15 years.
Wow, let's get a round of applause for that.
Thank you. And we continue to have a 98% job placing rate for the last 9 years. And I now get to see our youth working around communities just around the Gilroy area in 4 or 5-star restaurants, hotels, resorts, Michelin 1, 2, 3-star restaurants across the nation. I have award-winning chefs and community members who are now working in award-winning catering companies, bakeries, agencies, and that's just the beauty of it all. And I see them everywhere, and I get the chance to connect with them. It's not always easy. In this industry, you tend to have those who don't get the chance to succeed. And being in this now role for the last 13 and a half years, almost 14, I'm averaging about one a year where I lose a student to suicide, drug violence, gang violence, overdose. And our goal is to really my goal is just take their voices and just learn from them and continue to be the voice for them because they are not able to be that voice anymore for themselves. And so that's what the goal of it all is to continue to build it.
Absolutely, that to and through employment, to and through school, and like you said, our young folks, I think all of us, right, are living in a world that it's sometimes really hard to find the hope and motivation, but it's having that grounding in community, having those places that you're like, oh, I know if I can just get there they see me, there I'm a full person, there I can be happy, sad, whatever, and somebody's gonna love me and say they're glad to see me. But it gets hard, and I think as folks who are stewards of programs and spaces and opportunities, I think we carry a lot of that, right? Like these are our kids. Like I have a classroom of 25. Well, we're in 2 classrooms right now, 25. I'm like, those are my kids. So I was, I haven't birthed any, but they're mine. I claim them, right? And all of our network of kiddos. How do you take care of yourself either in self-care or communal care? Because I think that's equally as important, right, as the individual, but communal care as well. Do you want to share a little bit of your tips? Because 13 years, that's some resistance and resilience there.
One thing I like to do for myself is take time. Just take time for myself, for me, and sometimes it's being alone, which is okay. But for me, what fuels me is having a community around me. It could be my family. I dedicate Sundays to family. I'm always visiting parents and brothers and hanging out with them just to really ground myself. But I also like spending time with my coworkers, my students, my apprentices, my team, because I learn from them. And they're the ones that really know me for who I am, my true colors, and they just help ground me. And it can be anywhere from just, hey, let's go and take a tour of a facility, take my team on a tour of another restaurant, or just, research and development, but also being a part of our agency's, events and community events. During the pandemic, I know we don't want to talk about that girl, but during the pandy,
El COVID.
I'm a social butterfly. I like to go out there. I like to talk to people. I like to feel people's energies, because as soon as I say, hi, how are you? And they say, I'm okay. And that's where I'm like, oh, okay. And that's what allows me to continue that conversation. Do you want to talk? Do you want to just take a walk? And I was missing those conversations. And so I started a podcast in 2020, August of 2020. And it was just me and a camera and on Facebook, Instagram Live, and I would just have a video podcast. And it was called the Yes Chef Carlos Podcast. And my goal was to just give people life by leading, inspiring, feeding, and educating. And that's what we do. We just have a conversation about anything we can think of, anything that we can just feel. A lot of it was just mental health, so making sure we're taking care of ourselves, acknowledging mental health. But we also talked about, body positivity, and I had conversations about the beauty of stretch marks, the power of saying no.
That's beautiful.
Exactly.
Stretch marks, yes.
And a lot of those conversations led to just more conversations, more abilities to connect with people, not just locally, but internationally. I haven't gone live in a while, but the last time I did, I had the chance to reach 33 countries.
Wow.
From my podcast, and it was just beautiful. Thank you. And I've gotten messages from all over the world, just people thanking me and just saying, I appreciate you for showing up. And I'm grateful for that, to have to be able to build a platform that I can use as my voice to help give other people hope.
Yeah.
And that's what that's what keeps me excited and grounded, is just connecting with people, checking in, and just having a conversation. Because it can lead to bigger things, opportunities, collaborations, a warm handoff. And it helps me in my role at our agency, but it helps me as my role in this world.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you let your light shine brightly, right? Like that lets other people let their light shine. And you're like, oh, if they can do it, okay, I can do it too, or I can get closer to it, right? I know that when I was, a brown kid in East San Jose, I never would have imagined that our county would have an office of LGBTQ affairs, and let alone that I would lead it and start it, for our nation, right? And then now we have this division of equity and social justice. And I don't know about you, but when you were growing up in Gilroy, did you imagine that you'd be leading a Pride Academy, doing cooking in Gilroy with like amazing people and a podcast?
Hell no. But let's just give her a round of applause for that. I just love that. What a dream world. I love it. But no, growing up in a Mexican, traditional, Hispanic, Catholic household, you're not allowed to be who I am today. And a lot of those individuals struggle with mental health, and a lot of us can probably relate that mental health doesn't exist in a Mexican Catholic household. It's something we don't talk about. It's something that they just say, put some Vicks on your feet and drink some 7-Up and you're good. That doesn't cure everything.
Yeah.
And so now having the chance to be out in the community and supporting my community, that's what the goal is.
Yeah, and it's us as bridge builders, right? Like now we can have those conversations with our families, and now you're giving folks tools to say, hey, mom, dad, let's watch this video together, and then we can have conversations about it. I was fortunate enough to have a family that when I came out later. I was out of college. And so I was very supported by my family, and in fact, my mom's like, yeah, we know. And I'm like, somebody could have told me, but, could have saved me some. But they're really fortunate that our communities and our families are also shifting because of the stories that we're beginning to tell, and the stories and the experiences, right, that we're sharing with them. And we're inviting them into the process of growth and reflection. For you, as you were coming out as a leader, as your own person, your identities, where did you find inspiration, and what motivated you to be your full, authentic self?
I'd like to say that I didn't have an inspiration. And that was, I think, the issue and underlying struggle is I didn't have anybody in my circle, in my community, that was able to be themselves, to be that true inspirational leader for me. In 2014, I took a leadership class in our community in Gilroy, and I was able to find my voice. And going to these classes and really just educating myself, I was able to, and surprisingly, I was the most introverted person you can think of. I was always I know, that's what I said. But I was always in the back, in the corner, shy, nervous. But at the end of this leadership class, I was just at a point where I'm like, I'm tired of being the quiet person in the back. If I'm not able to help myself, how am I going to help others in my future, in my role, in my world? And being able to really find my true voice, I told myself, put your hair up, put your sleeves up, let's go. Because since 2014, I was able to get involved, be loud, show up, and get involved in my community. And that was by, I know I'm not a person that's rich financially as much, but for me, it's I give my time, I give my skill sets to anywhere that's needed. And if I find an organization that I really just have a passion for, I get involved. And I've sat on over a dozen boards throughout the last 10 years now, 10 years, and just kind of gave my opinion and my feelings and allowed them to open up and be inclusive and be diverse. A lot of them were stuck in their ways, and a lot of them were kind of not able to really just grow as an organization or a community organization. And I was able to help bring them out of that. Gilroy, for me growing up, was a place that I call home. It wasn't always easy. I've been assaulted verbally, physically. I've been yelled at, called names, walking down the same streets that our community members walked at. And anytime I walk into a new group of people or a board and I'm just going to be myself, I ask them beforehand, are they ready for me? Because if they're not ready, I'm not going to go. But until they're ready, then I'm going to show up and be loud and just educate them, My boss has always taught me the power of education is kind of the key to everything. Any chance you're able to walk in a room in front of any group of people from 2 to a million people, educate, talk to them, let them ask questions, and be open to their questions. A lot of people might not just know. And I've been able to come in and say, hey, I'm part of 8 organizations and boards and community involvement, but I'm still a member of the LGBT community, and I'm still going to be myself. And although I'm making strides and being a leader and doing my part in the community, just remember, this is still who I am. I'm still going to be the same person, living unashamed, unapologetic, and more importantly, staying true to who I am.
Absolutely, yes. So you said you like questions. We're gonna do some rapid fire. Ready?
Girl.
Favorite dish?
Chicken noodle soup.
Favorite music?
Reggae.
Favorite song?
3 Little Birds by Bob Marley.
Hollywood crush?
Low key, still Beyonce for the record.
If you had $1 million, what would you buy first?
Food for people.
All right, favorite car?
Something big and big boy friendly so I can fit comfortably. Duh.
Favorite sports?
Favorite sports, I love baseball.
Favorite team?
Favorite team's the Giants, of course.
Oh, okay. Well, there weren't any Giants fans. What's up? Make some noise. Favorite childhood toy?
Childhood toy? We couldn't afford an Easy Bake Oven, but we made our own. So we had a ghetto version of the Easy Bake Oven. So I made it work. Look at me now.
Yeah. I had a phone from La Segunda, so I mean, I'd like to talk, I guess.
Thank you. I feel you.
Where was I? Oh, more questions. Favorite candy bar?
Favorite candy bar low-key lately I think it's 100 grand or 1,000 grand. I've been having that lately. I was like, whoo, it's a delicious.
Salty or sweet?
Sweet.
Loud or quiet?
Both.
Oh. Favorite color?
Green.
How many rainbow items can you have?
Never enough.
Exactly. All right. So, thank you for playing rapid fire with me.
Thank you.
We have our last question of our time. Oh my gosh, that half hour went by really fast.
Oh, that's what that is. I love that for us. Okay,
no,
cool.
I was like, they're keeping me in check. Okay, we're going to end it really deep. And what are your hopes and visions for the future of LGBTQ leadership and inclusivity in hospitality or in Gilroy and the sector? And how can individuals and businesses in the community contribute to that vision? And these folks right here.
That was rough.
I know.
Long. Okay.
They gave it to me.
Start
I
from
was
the
like,
top. Break it down. Let's see. Can you repeat the top part first?
yes. What are your hopes and vision for the future LGBTQ leadership and inclusivity? And it could be in hospitality and culinary and Gilroy. And like, what can folks do to be part of that vision?
Beautiful. Okay. This last year I had the chance to become part of a leading group where the city of Gilroy finally got the chance to raise a pride flag at City Hall. And my team and I, friends and I, went out. We collected 500 signatures, unfortunately. We had to do that. We had to pay a $500 fee, and now the flag has risen for the month of June for the next 2 years.
Yes.
And that's one way that I was able to make it, happen, be shown. It's not as easy as it looks. It's not going to happen overnight, and that's okay. But any chance we get a chance to go out and educate each other and support one another and just show up is the goal. This last year, I was able to submit 2 resolutions to the Gilroy Unified School District and to Morgan Hill Unified School District just to recognize June as Pride Month for our youth. Because not having that available to them is just, it's so tiny and minuscule, but it's so powerful. And next steps, we can help educate. What's next? Maybe a flag at their facility, maybe a flag at the schools. As much as we think our schools are a safe space, they're not. And our goal is to continue to build that opportunity for them to make sure they can walk onto those campuses, have a chance to learn, and feel welcomed.
Yes. And so folks here, you're not off the hook, right? We need all of you to come and support when these resolutions go up for a vote, when city council, asks for these signatures, or for the fundraising too. I mean, sometimes they create, there's system barriers, right, that get created, and we need everyone to help support by showing up, by pitching in, and by having some of those ideas, right, also with us. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for this conversation. Thank you, Chef.
Of course.
Thank you to the team. Who are the folks from Rebekah Services that are here? Raise your hand. Folks from the Culinary Academy, thank you so much for doing the work. Thank you, Office of LGBTQ Affairs. We hand the mic back to you.
Okay. Y'all already know how this goes. Can we have another hand clap? Round of applause. Loud and proud. For Chef Carlos and the infamous Maribel and Martinez. But we won't tell everybody else outside of here that we know someone so famous. So we're going to give you all a break. Run, take a phone call, text and tell the people who told you they were coming and didn't really come how much they missed out on. Tell them how good your lunch was, all those things. And we will meet you all back on the other side, the first room we were in this morning, for the remainder of the program.